It's been a journey. I mean, when I was a child growing up, I had a deep compassion for the abandoned places, a deep compassion for the lost, for the unrecognized. I saw intelligent people hurting, and I had compassion for them. And so I don't know if my becoming houseless is really an act of desperation, or if it's an act of loving the people that I saw and joining them in their life. It gets scarier and scarier seeing the way that the world goes. Nearly everyone I know has housing insecurity, which is an insecurity of land, it's an insecurity of privacy, it's an insecurity of hope. I have been living homeless for, I would say, all of my life. The house that I grew up in didn't always have my heart. It didn't always have my best interest. And, part of my being homeless is in not having a family to retreat to or to return to or have the support of. They've insisted on diagnosing me with mental disorders for characteristic behavior that has plagued me since my traumatic brain injury at 4 years old. What I would like people to know about the experience of homelessness, of surviving, of being at the mercy and forgiveness and compassion of everyone, is that it's electrifying. It's like skydiving every day.
What I've learned and what I'd like to share with others about homelessness, or home free as I like to call it, I guess the main thing is that try it. You can't miss it. I mean, it will do you a lot of good to sleep outdoors, to rely on your wits. Of course, I'm being facetious. Most people wouldn't even begin to go through the last 4 years like I have.
On one of those days, and there were many this winter, where there were sometimes 2 and 3 days where it was pouring rain. Can you give us an idea of what your life was like?
Wet. My life was like very wet. But again, I've been able to call on the community in terms of thrift stores and finding clothing and boots and socks. What I have in the living situation, the sleeping area, is very minimal now. The floor is lined with a tarp, and the tarp under the tent for moisture prevention, and I've also got sleeping bags down for matting for comfort and insulation, and then one or two blankets and a sleeping bag on top. That's about it. I would really strongly focus on and take suggestions about compassion and living a life of compassion. When I practice that, it's almost like magic. That real love and real hopefulness returns when I put others equal or ahead of my own concerns. The greatest pain I've ever known is isolation and loneliness. Flat out. There's nothing compares to it. So I think that talking about compassion and talking about the kindness of the community, for me personally, needs to be manifest with action that demonstrates an effort to give others more solace, more peace, and more comfort. So I'm really an advocate of staying off of screens as much as possible, and instead pick up a face, go talk to somebody, see how they're doing, how you can help.